and I needn't remind you, but I will, that it's been during democratic years. That our strength to deter war has stood still, and even gone into a planned decline. It has been during democratic years that we have weakly stumbled into conflict, timidly refusing to draw our own lines against aggression. Deceitfully refusing to tell even our people of our full participation, and tragically, letting our finest men die on battlefields, unmarked by purpose, unmarked by pride or the prospect of victory. Yesterday, it was Korea. Tonight, it is Vietnam. Make no bones of this. Don't try to sweep this under the rug. We are at war in Vietnam. And yet the President, who is the Commander-in-Chief of our forces, refuses to say, mind you, whether or not the objective over there is victory. And his Secretary of Defense continues to mislead and misinform the American people. And enough of it has gone by. And I needn't remind you, but I will, it has been during democratic years that a billion persons were cast into communist captivity and their fate cynically sealed. Today in our beloved country we have an administration which seems eager to deal with communism in every coin known, from gold to wheat, from consulates to confidences, and even human freedom itself. Now the Republican cause demands that we brand communism as the principal disturber of peace in the world today. Indeed, we should brand it as the only significant disturber of the peace. And we must make clear that until its goals of conquest are absolutely renounced and its relations with all nations tempered, Communism and the governments it now controls are enemies of every man on earth who is or wants to be free. Now, we here in America can keep the peace only if we remain vigilant and only if we remain strong. Only if we keep our eyes open and keep our guard up can we prevent war. And I want to make this abundantly clear, I don't intend to let peace or freedom be torn from. Our grasp because of lack of strength or lack of will, and that I promise you, Americans. I believe that we must look beyond the defense of freedom today to its extension tomorrow. I believe that the communism which boasts it will bury us will, instead, give way to the forces of freedom. And I can see in the distant and yet recognizable future the outlines of a world worthy of our dedication. Our every risk, our every effort, our every sacrifice along the way. Yes, a world that will redeem the suffering of those who will be liberated from tyranny. I can see, and I suggest that all thoughtful men must contemplate the flowering of an Atlantic civilization, the whole of Europe reunified and freed. Trading openly across its borders, communicating openly across the world. Now, this is a goal far, far more meaningful than a moonshot. It's a truly inspiring goal for all free men to set for themselves during the latter half of the 20th century. I can also see, and all free men must thrill to the events of this. Atlantic civilization joined by its great ocean highway to the United States. What a destiny! What a destiny can be ours to stand as a great central pillar linking Europe. the Americas, and the venerable and vital peoples and cultures of the Pacific. I can see a day when all the Americas, North and South, will be linked in a mighty system. A system in which the errors and misunderstandings of the past will be submerged one by one in a rising tide of prosperity and interdependence. We know that the misunderstandings of centuries are not to be wiped away in a day or wiped away in an hour. But we pledge that human sympathy what our neighbors to the south call. An attitude of simpatico no less than enlightened self-interest will be our guide. And I can see this Atlantic civilization galvanizing and guiding emergent nations everywhere. Now I know this freedom is not the fruit of every soil. I know that our own freedom was achieved through centuries, by unremitting efforts of brave and wise men. And I know that the road to freedom is a long and a challenging road. And I know also that some men may walk away from it, that some men resist challenge. Accepting the false security of governmental paternalism. And I pledge that the America I envision in the years ahead will extend its hand in health. In teaching and in cultivation, so that all new nations will be at least encouraged to go our way. So that they will not wander down the dark alleys of tyranny or the dead-end streets of collectivism. My fellow Republicans, we do no man a service by hiding freedom's light under a bushel of mistaken humility. I seek an America proud of its past, proud of its ways. Proud of its dreams, and determined actively to proclaim them. but our example to the world must, like charity, begin at home. In our vision of a good and decent future, free and peaceful, there must be room. Room for deliberation of the energy and the talent of the individual. Otherwise our vision is blind at the outset. We must assure a society here which, while never abandoning the needy or forsaking the helpless, nurtures incentives and opportunities for the creative and the productive, we must know the whole good is the product of many single contributions. And I cherish a day when our children once again will restore as heroes the sort of men and women who, unafraid and undaunted, pursue the truth, strive to cure disease. Subdue and make fruitful our natural environment and produce the inventive engines of production, science, and technology. This nation, whose creative people have enhanced this entire span of history, should again thrive upon the greatness of all those things which we as individual citizens, can and should do. And during Republican years, this again will be a nation of men and women, of families proud of their role. Jealous of their responsibilities, unlimited in their aspirations, a nation where all who can will be self-reliant. We Republicans see in our constitutional form of government the great framework, which assures the orderly but dynamic fulfillment of the whole man. And we see the whole man as the great reason for instituting orderly government in the first place. We see in private property and in economy based upon and fostering private property, the one way to make government a durable ally of the whole man, rather than his determined enemy. We see in the sanctity of private property the only durable foundation for constitutional government in a free society. And beyond that, we see, in cherished diversity of ways, diversity of thoughts, of motives, and accomplishments. We don't seek to lead anyone's life for him. We only seek to secure his rights, guarantee him opportunity to strive. With government performing only those needed and constitutionally sanctioned tasks which cannot otherwise be performed. We Republicans seek a government that attends to its inherent responsibilities of maintaining a stable monetary and fiscal climate. Encouraging a free and a competitive economy and enforcing law and order. Thus, do we seek inventiveness, diversity, and creative difference within a stable order. For we Republicans define government's role where needed at many. Many levels preferably, though, the one closest to the people involved. Our towns and our cities, then our counties, then our states. Then our regional compacts and only then, the national government. That, let me remind you, is the ladder of liberty, built by decentralized power. On it also we must have balance between the branches of government at every level. Balance, diversity, creative difference, these are the elements of the Republican equation. Republicans agree heartily to disagree on many, many of their applications. But we have never disagreed on the basic fundamental issues of why you and I are Republicans. This is a party. This Republican Party is a party for free men, not for blind followers, and not for conformists. In fact, in 1858 Abraham Lincoln said this of the Republican Party, and I quote him. Because he probably could have said it during the last week or so, it was composed of strange, discordant, and even hostile elements. End of the quote. In 1858. Yet all of these elements agreed on one paramount objective. To arrest the progress of slavery, and place it in the course of ultimate extinction. Today, as then, but more urgently and more broadly than then. The task of preserving and enlarging freedom at home and of safeguarding it from the forces of tyranny. Abroad is great enough to challenge all our resources and to require all our strength. Anyone who joins us in all sincerity, we welcome. Those who do not care for our cause, we don't expect to enter our ranks in any case. And let our republicanism, so focused and so dedicated, not be made fuzzy and futile by unthinking and stupid labels. I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. And let me remind you also that moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue. Why, the beauty of the very system we Republicans are pledged to restore and revitalize. The beauty of this federal system of ours is in its reconciliation of diversity with unity. We must not see malice in honest differences of opinion, and no matter how great, so long as they are not inconsistent with the pledges we have given to each other in and through our Constitution.